Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick, and I'm a top author and TradingView with over 190k reputation points.
In this video, I will be speaking about USDCHF. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect for this market. Then we will be moving to the order flow as usual by looking at the commitment of traders, so what the big players, so the non-commercials in the market are doing and how they're moving and shifting their orders. And by the end of the video, by using a combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here for this pair. So this is definitely a video you do not want to miss.
If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. This is the place to be for high quality, free trading education. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight onto the charts.
Now, starting here from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that at the moment we have a market which is rejecting to the upside exactly the previous low. From here, all the previous rejection to the upside was created. The market then went and tested the exact same level and is currently in the process of rejecting it to the upside. So essentially, what we had here was the creation of a double bottom exactly at this zone. And from here, there is a possibility of seeing a bit more bullish price action, especially if the market will manage to break above this previous high. Because keep in mind that these two levels are currently the levels that are bounding the market from a monthly standpoint. Until the market will remain in between these two levels, more sideways price action could be expected. However, as we will now see by going down on the weekly time frame, the market seems to be ready for a breakout above this previous resistance zone. So let's keep all of this in mind. Remember that the market is rejecting this level to the upside. And let's drop down on the weekly time frame. Now, here in the weekly, we can see a perfect shift from a weekly bearish market and bearish trend to the creation of a bullish market and bullish trend, with the transition period being in accumulation phase. In fact, what we can notice that we clearly had the creation of lower lows and lower highs. Then we had this horizontal accumulation area, and then the market started creating higher highs and higher lows. Now, this is a very textbook shift. In fact, when you want to see the market shift from a bearish trend to a bullish trend, usually the market goes first inside of an accumulation area in which institutions are closing their shorts and opening their longs. And at that point, after they have finished shifting all their positions, at that point, the market inverts. Now, that is because when it comes to institutional trading, and we will go now a bit more in detail in that, since in the market for every buyer there needs to be a seller, if there isn't enough liquidity at the market at that specific moment, it's best for them to keep the price in between those levels to accumulate all the positions, and then to essentially, after accumulation ended, the trend at that point starts developing in favor of the accumulation direction, basically. So here on the weekly time frame, it is clear how we are now in a bullish market with the creation of higher highs and higher lows. We just saw the creation of this impulse and correction. Now, at the moment, the market seems ready for the next push to the upside and create yet another higher high. Now, since we have an impulse and correction, if we want to measure this correction, we have to take our Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse leg. And this shows us how we have 0.32 and 50% retracements currently lining up exactly inside of this area. Now, this creates confluence of support, because if we extend this level to the left, we can also see how this was previous horizontal resistance now turns support. And again, instead of a confluence of support zone, there is an increased probability of seeing institutional longing, which at that point could further increase the probabilities of a potential rejection to the upside away from this area. So also here on the weekly time frame, everything seems quite bullish. Now, dropping down on the daily time frame, what do we see? Now, from a daily perspective, the situation is quite clear as well. We can notice how the market already created a bearish trap in which essentially we had the push to the downside, hunting of stop losses that were placed below this low, as well as trapping people that started selling just as soon as this previous low was broken to the downside, and then immediately the market reverted to the upside. So this means that there were a lot of buys placed here from an institutional perspective. Now, how can we check that? Well, If we go and see what we have when it comes to the commitment of traders, so what the big players in the market are doing, we can see how in the long term with the last few reports, we can notice how we went from minus 21.8K to minus 43K net positions. So institutions are moving to the bearish side of the CHF. Now, since all currencies on the spot are traded against the USD, if institutions are shorting the CHF, they are essentially longing USDCHF. So with the last few reports, institutions have been moving back to the bullish side for USDCHF. So let's keep this in mind and move back to the chart. And by the way, if you still haven't, make sure that you join my free Telegram channel, which you find linked in the description, so you never miss new updates. Now back to the analysis. So in a situation like this, if the market will manage to successfully break above this previous level of resistance, this previous resistance would become support. So if we do get this break and retest of the previous resistance turn support, that is where there is a good probability to see more institutional longing, which at that point could further increase the probabilities of a potential rejection to the upside away from this level. So if the market will break and retest this zone, what would I expect? Well, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily timeframes combined with the COT data, those are the best timeframes when it comes to the directional aspect of the market. However, when it comes to identifying early shifts in the trend of a market, the best timeframes for that are the intraday timeframes, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what I would expect is that if the market would shift from an intraday bearish to bullish market, at that point, I wouldn't be surprised to see a potential rejection to the upside for the market to complete this daily impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. That definitely wouldn't surprise me. Now, all these general analysis, tutorials, and concepts that you see me speak about on my YouTube channel are really just the tip of the iceberg, because if you really want to learn more, I will definitely suggest that you go and check out the transparentfxtrading.com website, which you find also linked in description. Here, you will have the possibility to get access to all my courses. So really complete courses that will guide you from the very basics of charting all the way up to more advanced concepts like building algorithmic trading strategies using quantitative finance tools like the quant analyzer to build portfolios of strategies, and a lot of really important and really interesting things that you need to know if you want to become a better trader. So this is something you really cannot afford to miss. You also have the possibility to gain access to the trading station software with the Telegram notifications integration, one-on-one mentoring directly with me, the COT data software that you often see me use on the YouTube channel, and you also have the possibility to integrate with gaining access to all my EAs, so my personal EAs, the ones that I have developed and that I trade on my own account, and also to have access to the trading show, which is essentially a live stream of all trades coming from my account directly on the Telegram channel as they are executed and managed. Here on the website, you will see that there is the complete presentation of all the EAs that I personally run. And if you continue to scroll down, you will see that you have the possibility to join and gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the checkout process. And there is also per time slot the special discount. So at the moment, there are 10 days before the next price increase. So I would really suggest that you go and check it out as soon as possible. The link is in description, and I will see you in it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like. Also, let me know in the comments below any pairs or topics that you would like me to cover in the next videos, and I will see you in my next breakdown.